the city of Bakersfield in California was rocked by the horrific slaying of the Harper family. 5 members of the family had been brutally murdered in their home, the youngest of which was just 6 weeks old. When police entered the house, the crime scene initially seemed like a home invasion gone wrong, but a closer look revealed that nothing had been stolen, and the killings had been so aggressive and hateful it was clear that someone wanted this family dead. With their main suspect offering a solid alibi, the investigators tasked with solving these murders knew they needed to call in reinforcements and to dig deeper in order to capture the murderer and to put this monster behind bars. "46-year-old Vincent Brothers seems to have it all. The former Marine found himself in a great job as John C. Fremont Elementary School's vice principal, and he was well liked and respected by his colleagues and students. Vincent was also married to his loving wife, Joni Harper, and together they had 3 beautiful young children. Their first child, Marcus, was born in 1998, and 2 years later they got married and had their second child, Lindsay, in the year 2000. Things hadn't always been perfect for the couple, and after finding out that her husband Vincent had been cheating on her, Vincent and Joni separated that year. Despite multiple attempts to rekindle their relationship, the marriage between Joni and Vincent was annulled in 2001. Throughout these tumultuous times, Joni found it difficult to ignore the deep love she had for Vincent, and by late 2002 they were back together and remarried in January of 2003. A few months later, in May, they had their 3rd child together, who they named Marshall. Regardless of their past, it seemed everything was finally coming together again for the family. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, Aura. I don't know about you, but I just hate receiving spam phone calls and being bothered by mysterious numbers. Not only is it a waste of time, but it also makes me question several things. How did they get my number? Who gave them my details? And most importantly, if they have my number, what other personal information is also available online? And that's where Aura can come in to help protect you and your family. You never know if your personal information has been stolen by cyber criminals or sold on the dark web, like your phone number, your email, or even your home address. Aura identifies data brokers exposing your information, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your information when asked, but they make it extremely hard to do so. Aura, however, can keep you safe online and handles all of this for you, so you don't have to. Aura is easy to set up and use, and you don't have to download several different apps to get the protection Aura can give you. All of this is available to you under one platform and at an affordable price, so head on over to aura.com/EllieMac to start your 2-week free trial and to see if your personal information has been compromised. Thanks so much to Aura for sponsoring this video, and remember, stay safe out there. On the 2nd of July 2003, Vincent Brothers left Bakersfield to go and visit his mother in North Carolina and his brother in Ohio for the long July 4th weekend, and he left behind Joni and their 3 children. Joni's mother, Ernestine Harper, moved into the family home to help Joni out with the children. A few days later, on the 6th of July 2003, Joni took her children, including 6-week-old Marshall, to the church with a helping hand from her mother, Ernestine. Joni was dying to show off Marshall to her beloved church members who had yet to meet the family's latest addition. The morning went off without a hitch, and once proceedings had concluded, Joni and Ernestine met up with Kelsey Spann, Joni's best friend, for lunch. They then headed home to rest up for the evening service that was taking place later that day. Joni never arrived for the evening service, however, and over the next few days, repeated calls from those closest to her went unanswered. Slightly alarmed by this sudden change in behavior, Kelsey decided to visit Joni at her home and see if she was all right. Maybe there was an issue with the home phone, or one of the children had fallen ill. But tragically, the reality was far, far darker. From the outside, everything looked as it should. Kelsey was unable to open the front door, so she tried to access the house through the patio. The door was unlocked, so she was able to get inside. Shortly after 7 a.m., a 911 operator answered a call from a frantic Kelsey Spann looking to report multiple murders. As she had entered the home, Kelsey found Ernestine lying in the hallway outside her bedroom. She had been shot twice in the face at close range. It was clear she had been dead for some time, so Kelsey rushed through the rest of the house to try and find Joni and the children, clinging to the hope that the same fate hadn't befallen them. Tragically, all hope was lost when Kelsey entered another one of the bedrooms. There she found the bodies of Joni and her children. Minutes after Kelsey made the 911 call, police arrived at the scene. They found Joni lying face down in the bed, and the attack on her had been particularly vicious. She had suffered multiple stab wounds and gunshots to the head, upper chest area and back. Lindsay, who was 1 month away from turning 2 years old, had been shot once in the back. She lay there still wearing the blue dress she had proudly shown off at church 2 days earlier on the 6th of July. Marcus was found next to Joni. He had been killed by a gunshot wound to the top right side of the head before his body was covered by a sheet. His eyes were still open, and he had bitten his right hand so severely his teeth had gone down to the bone. Investigators theorized the young 4-year-old had been awoken during the attack on his mother and bit down on his hand due to the sheer terror he felt in the moments before his death. For a brief moment, the investigators believed Marshall was missing, but a further look at the crime scene proved this false, as he was found under a pillow near Joni. Like Lindsay, Marshall had been shot once in the back. The investigating officers then had the impossible task of breaking the news to Vincent Brothers that his entire family had been taken from him. He was tracked down to the complete other side of the United States, in North Carolina, where he had been visiting his mother, and when he was told the news, he completely broke down. While the investigators did consider him a suspect at first, as they always look at the family and people close to the victims, it was not possible that Vincent was involved. Vincent had left Bakersfield on the 2nd of July, 4 days before the murders occurred, and he was 2,300 miles away in North Carolina. CCTV footage from the airport confirms that he had landed at the airport and was where he said he was. Vincent also had receipts from a store in Ohio that he presented to the investigators to prove his whereabouts. It wouldn't have been possible for Vincent to make it from the store back to California in that time frame, so the police had a lot of work to do to try and find out what had